And don't forget, Randall Cobb spent some time as a running back when all the injuries hit the backfield. So his versatility is still a major plus for Green Bay.
The play clock's running down. Now it's Rodgers. And Cook has it, left side. A big play that time on the catch and run. And it'll move the chains.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
They'll try to pound it in with Lacy. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Well, we just saw the recipe for success right there. Big body, strong, agile, playing with great leverage in hands. Not really able to be blocked on that play. Close things down inside.
A dump off to Lacy. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him. After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
So on now for the Packers is their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And Crosby puts it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. You know, for this Vikings team, as they come back out here on offense, I don't know that any group had more of a roller coaster ride than them in the 2016 season. The quarterback change at the beginning, the hot start, and then the cold middle. It was just a tough year for them, wasn't it?
It really was, and when you look at how their season went, you mentioned the roller coaster. A lot of it can come back to the injuries, especially along the offensive line. I think by around October, maybe even early November, I'm surprised you and I didn't get a call to go audition to be a left tackle there because they were just down so many guys. So that made it difficult to run the ball and to protect Sam Bradford, their quarterback, and it reflected in their final record.
On second down, Peterson. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And a peek at the defense for the Packers.
Clay Matthews is an absolute force. Multiple Pro Bowls as an outside linebacker. He can swing inside and create the same havoc.
And ready now for 2nd and 9. They'll run it now out of the gun. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Mike Daniels makes the tackle. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick.
When you're playing cover two, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. They go play action for Lacey. Now Rodgers. To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down.
I know they don't like to hear it when they get to a certain age, but then you have to start to use your skills, your wiles, right? Your mind to beat guys to the football. And getting your toes tapped in bounds definitely qualifies as that, doesn't it?
The veteran showing he still has the agility. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Rodgers now on first down. Out to the flat for Lacey. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
Give them 13 on the pickup there. And it'll give the Packers a first down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. On first down, Rodgers. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll bring up second down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
An extra defensive back in the game now here for 3rd and 4. Rodgers to throw once more. And Adams has it complete. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. They'll come out in the pistol. Into the red zone. It's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, a 12-yard touchdown run. And the Packers have taken the lead. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And the result, a Green Bay score. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And we put our attention now on the defense for the Packers. Now the interception for them the last time, and that turned into 6 points.
You think during their break they reminded the offense that, hey, we helped you guys out a little bit, right? You know, they want to see if they can do it again for them. They're putting together an entire team game by how they're playing on defense.
So the interception the last drive, what will happen here? They start the drive with Peterson. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
When you think of Mike Daniels, you think of strength. Hard to knock off the football, but surprising quickness and ability to move and evade people. How about that play there?
Well, he can squat 600 pounds, so that's how he caught people's attention coming into the league, and he caught our attention right there. Second down, Bradford. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Kenny Clark in there to sack him for a loss of 6. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on second down. Third and long for Bradford. Surveying the field. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. Here's Jeff Locke now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Taken from just outside the 30. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. And the Vikings defense ready to head back out there now. And a touchdown given up the last time they were out there, so maybe need to refocus a little bit.
And make sure that they don't start finger pointing with each other, because oftentimes when a touchdown's given up, you say, okay, where did that happen? Who broke down? Who gave it up? Instead, just go back out there, be a unit again, and try and play a little bit better.
Yeah, see if they can play a little bit better on this drive.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Rodgers will try again on second down. Steps away to his left. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and they're going to have a third down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
From the gun on third down, Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
On fourth down, the Packers hand things over to Jake Shum to punt it. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
Again, Peterson. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up. Offense coming up, needing 2 yards on third down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So a little jumpy there defensively. Ref caught him in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Following the penalty, it's Peterson. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
And the defensive line controls the offensive front the way we just saw there. It doesn't allow any of the offensive linemen to leak downfield and get to the linebackers and block them on the second level. You end up with the type of play we just saw. Linebackers didn't have to fight anyone off, didn't have to knock anyone to the side, didn't have to elude anyone trying to block them. They just saw the play, ran to the ball, and finished things off.
Will the defense dial up the pressure? Let's see. 3rd and 11. On 3rd down, Bradford. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
They go play action here on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw in that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, they're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it and maybe having a little bit more space.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
And that's why you see so many teams play a 3-4 defense, because that set gives you a lot of flexibility about where to bring pressure from, and it's hard for an offense to pick it up. Left side, right side, up the middle, especially with some really flexible linebackers.
Bradford from the gun on 3rd down. A dump down to McKinnon. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. And give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football.
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him. Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Out of the backfield, Adrian Peterson was the intended target, and it's third down. And the offense readies for play number 10 of this series. From the shotgun, it's Bradford. A dump down to McKinnon. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else, end up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking first down.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the seemingly endless drive continues.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
If you run an out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've hit the end of quarter one. 10-7 our score. We're back to Lambeau in just a moment.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. And they're driving, but they come up on a 3rd and short here. Just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. And Charles, a couple extra defensive backs in here on 3rd and 1.
Not expecting them to run it at all.
Here's Bradford backing up. Now a hit, and the ball comes out. Bradford's lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will knot us up at 10. So a 15-play drive. Can't believe that only resulted in 3, but it did.
That is somewhat amazing, isn't it? When you hold the ball that long, run offense that well, yet only put 3 points on the board, it has to be a little bit of a disappointment, doesn't it?
Has to. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
That incompletion, Charles, gives me a chance to put you on the clock real quick. NFC teams last year that did not make the playoffs that might make a push this coming year.
Well, 3 that come to mind right away that we thought were going to be in 2016. Minnesota, remember the start they got off to before that didn't work out so well for them. Arizona, we thought they were a lock to be in the playoffs. In fact, many of us called them Super Bowl contenders. And Carolina, the defending NFC champs going into last season, they didn't make it. So I think that all 3 could return to former glory. I'm going to give you one way off the pace here. You ready?
Let's go.
The Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh.
They get the young quarterback going, and that defense continues to live up to expectations. They can make a real strong push in the West.
They've got the D. You're right. They just need the O. And that is incomplete. Here's Jacob Shum now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. And now out comes Minnesota. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting off field, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
First down, here's a run with Peterson. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Now Bradford on second down. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
Bradford to throw it. And this is going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And it's 4th down.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
And this one is right down the middle. And they will take the lead at 13-10. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So the offensive unit. Call the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. One receiver left, 3 to the right. On first down, Rodgers. Caught by Nelson left side. And a nifty little deep juke spin move. Not a great deal there on the back end, but a nice gain still.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
On second down, here's Rodgers. The left side throw complete to Adams. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
They go play action here on first down. They'll roll him out right. And some room to work. They get 25 yards out of that one. And that leads to a Green Bay first.
Now, those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now a play fake here on first down. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. Got a man open, it's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams, 35 yards. And once again, the Packers, they're back out in front.
He was able to move around and found some vision to throw the football. And how about how he ended it? Boy, he had some zip on that throw.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have an arm like that. Results in the touchdown here. Great play offensively. Extra point try now for Crosby. And that will make this a 4-point game. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And it ends with a Packers touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. To return, here comes Marcus Sherrills. Ooh, with a juke. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Vikings. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him, kick it to him. The way he runs, as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. What a spin. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, he's getting ready to go again here on offense. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure that his team sees him as confident. Continue to try and up his game, but just let him know, hey, if I'm around, if I'm the one calling signals and throwing the football, just follow me, we'll get there. Sometimes that will do more to elevate a team than anything else.
See if he has that confidence.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Fresh set of downs here. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Rodgers now on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Fighting through. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They go play action for Lacy. Now Rodgers. Being chased out left. Now he'll got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in a game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. And now inside the red zone, the offense will operate.
Hey, 4 down. 319.
Rodgers to throw once more. He'll set up the screen to Lacy. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Eddie Lacy, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Packers have retaken the lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Yeah, you're so right because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, whoever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
And that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive, 4 plays. And it's finished off by a touchdown run coming from Eddie Lacy. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Here comes Sherrills. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more. Peterson alone in the backfield. He's going to get the football. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Well, that was better than the first go-around when he lost yardage, but still nothing there, and that sets up a 3rd and long. Tough spot here.
Put it mildly, sometimes I wonder if some of that old-school football should come back into play. You know what I would think here? Quick kick. Try and change field position, help out your team.
They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. Now Aaron Rodgers and the offense heading back onto the field. And he's been busy with his feet. He's been quite the scrambling man.
And obviously that can break down a defense. But a lot of it is just that they just get trapped with worrying about it so much that other things break down as well. You know, you break the huddle, and you're not just playing what comes out at you. You're like, oh, God, don't let him outside of the pocket. Don't let him beat us with his legs. And then he starts to beat you other ways.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They begin the drive with Lacey. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Great play there off the end. Question, Charles, in a 4-3, you hear about the D tackles a lot. What's the role of the ends?
What they want to do is control the edges of the defense. And you always hear about an offense talking about setting the edge in the running game. Well, the defense wants to do exactly the same thing. In the defensive end, often against an offensive tackle, sometimes a tight end, they can't let themselves get a hook and let a running back get outside, because if they do that, that hurts the integrity of the defense overall.
My man, the encyclopedia. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. He's got time in the pocket. It's caught. Nelson. And that little deke, the juke move that we saw, able to give him the 1st down yardage before he's brought down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Oh, nearly a disaster there on the check down. But they'll get it back. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot. But there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams, so your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and mini camps. We get to see them on the field for the first time, and we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins. Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. Here we go on 4th down with Rodgers. He's going to rifle one deep left side, and it is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So they give it up just on their side of midfield, and yeah, I mean, a surprising decision there to go for that.
Must have a lot of confidence in his defense. Must feel like, hey, we're in great shape here because our defense can hold them, because they're really outside of field goal range now, all right, the opposite team. So if you hold them here, you haven't given up any points. You may give up a punt and you're pinned down a little bit, but must have thought it was an okay spot to go for it and decided to be aggressive. Now, that's the type of play that'll fire up the defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Tackle made there by Nick Perry.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And Rudolph has it left side. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be 4th down. So on now is Kai Forbath. If you're wondering, he's hit from as far as 57. This will be from 56 yards out.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. They go play action here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. All right, different topic here. 2018, the Super Bowl, traveling north, far north to Minneapolis. Early predictions for that one. Who you got?
Well, everyone's still waiting in the NFL for a home team to play in its home stadium, right? So could the Vikings be that team? I'll start in the NFC, and I'm going to say no. I think Seattle, starting to get near that maybe last run with their defense. But Earl Thomas returns. I like Seattle coming out of the NFC. How about you?
Well, I'm actually going to take a Dallas Cowboys NFC title run. I think that they came so close this year, probably most talented going into next year.
I like that one. Well, in the AFC, I'm going to go with a team that if they improve their defense and their quarterback stays healthy, they could be that team, the Oakland Raiders.
Okay, I'm going dark horse. Cleveland Browns. Let's go.
Hey, from worst to first.
And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
And for Clinton-Dix, he had 80 of those tackles this past season, 5 interceptions. Got him to a Pro Bowl in his hometown of Orlando.
How about that? That's got to be an incredible thrill for Clinton-Dix to be able to come back to his hometown. He played at Dr. Phillips High in Orlando before going off to the University of Alabama and playing the Pro Bowl in front of all of his friends and family. And he's going to be a huge building block for Green Bay in 2017. Him at the safety position, about to get better at the corners, but of course Clay Matthews is still there too, terrorizing quarterbacks.
Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Pulled in at the 24. Oh, he slipped right by him. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Marching back out there, ready for the next possession. Here comes the Vikings defense. Their stay on the field last time was short-lived with a 3-and-out. See if they can get some more of that.
And ordinarily, you want to be on the field playing, right? But 3-and-outs, that's almost gold to a defense. Get to the bench, get some rest, turn the ball over to your offense.
We'll see what they can do here, see if they can force another 3-and-out. And a couple of big boys up front defensively, and in that 4-3, those D tackles so vital.
Extremely vital. I love how you describe that, because if they control things up front, often it's over the guard. Sometimes they slide and make it over the center. It's really hard to get a play started then, because a lot of teams want to start inside out running the football. But against a good 4-3, you may not find any space. And on that play, there was 0 space, no gain.
Now Rodgers on the bootleg. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Anthony Barr in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. Now a fair catch called for and made right on the 45-yard line. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. A reminder coming up here at halftime. We'll ship you off to Orlando. Larry Ridley will have first half highlights and analysis.
LR, plenty to show in this one.
Going to be a busy man at intermission. Now a play fake here on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Let's look ahead for a quick minute. We don't have the schedules yet for next year, but what we do have are the 5 international games that will be played, 4 in London and then 1 again in Mexico, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, Rams in Arizona, those in London, and then Mexico's going to get a great game. The Raiders and New England.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just think about the ones in London. Remember, they're splitting them between the 2 different stadiums in London, so they get a different flavor in all these places. But Mexico, for the 2nd straight year, the Raiders are coming to town. That should be a whole lot of fun.
Should be a ton of fun and a very good matchup. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion. They go play action. Now Bradford. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Now, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Packers will get the football at their own 20-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. Flush to his right. They find some open field here. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Obviously, a big play was needed, and you can see his eyes light up as he realized there's absolutely no one in front of him. And he takes off and goes a long way. Not only does he pick up a first down, but a big gain to boot.
Off the play fake to Lacy. Here's Rodgers. Rolling to his right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. It's a big play there for Green Bay. $55 yards. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout. And now we're set to get going. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
319.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. Dancing to his left. And it's a touchdown for the Packers. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Now Crosby for the point after. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And the result, a Green Bay score. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Over the middle here to Rudolph. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. second down, Bradford. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
390.
Play action for Peterson. Now here's Bradford finding time.